All right. So here we are. We're going to talk about writing women's history.
That's it. Writing women's history.
And this is Marilyn Norrie.
And this is Missy Christensen. We're ready to do that, weren't we? So we got the workshop that's happening in Campbell River on March 30th. And it's going from 11 till 6 in the day. And this is a project. Look at me just jumping in here, right?
Go for it.
This is a project that the bigger campaign is called My Mother's Story, and where we're asking people all over the world to write the story of their mother's lives, just the facts of what happened, so that we have women's history can finally be recorded and saved and shared. And so we're going to be doing it at the CSL in Campbell River. And this is going to be a new thing for me teaching this course, is that we will be writing, people will be able to write their full story in the day. Rather than getting a little set up and then go home and do it, they will be able to do it right there and then we can start to hear other people's stories. Because as amazing as it is for you to see your mother as a human being and see her, what she was in the context of her history, sharing these stories or listening to somebody else's story is like mind-blowing.
And that's something that's really great about this, I think, is like I went to see Michelle Obama last night.
Oh yeah.
And so it's great to hear her story and hear her, someone who's achieved so much that we readily recognize,
yes,
oh, you deserve to write a book, you've gone through a lot. But it's amazing when you start to hear, truly hear the stories that we don't necessarily tell ourselves. We have very limited visions of our mothers and of ourselves, and we don't think sometimes that those are worthy.
And sometimes people they know that there's a lot of pain. There's a lot of suffering. There's a lot of, they don't know how to talk about that stuff. In this campaign, we call it the scary bits. Everybody's got scary bits in their story. They don't know how to deal with it. And that's one of the big things that we do talk about. Because the writing recipe that we use is just the facts. And I'm an actor. Well, you're an actor too. We know storytelling. And the stories that we're telling are the ones of where did your mom grow up? What year was it? And what were her parents like? And how did she meet your dad? And those kinds of things. And we see the life, the whole life story of someone. And they are all unique and they are all extraordinary. I mean, Michelle Obama, yeah, she did that, but she still had to worry about her kids.
Well, and
she was still worrying about her mom. She was still trying to figure out how to, you know, do stuff. I think there were times when she was wondering about where the groceries were coming from. Those things of how did another woman cope. That's women's history.
And to be able to have those stories, which often don't get told unless they're in extreme
or the exceptional.
Yeah,
or,
somebody did something exceptional, or somebody was exceptionally crazy, or something like that.
Yeah.
But this is like, and what you're saying too, that I think is an important thing to bring up, is that there's a structure that it'll be hung on. It's not like, well, here's a piece of paper, go for it. You know, like you'll be led through something that is very nuts and bolts. It's not like, you don't have to get into all the emotion, or that even if it does come up, there's a structure that it's built around that is not about that.
You can see how other people have dealt with similar kinds of emotions. And this is one of the things we talk about, is how sometimes we have a very small mother in our mind, in our hearts. We have a very small mother, and we have a very large issue about her. And we can't talk about her because we can only see the issue. And what this allows you to do is to have a very big mother with a full life, and the issue is a sentence. And sometimes the issue isn't really in it because it's not your story, it's her story.
Right. Yeah. So then it releases you to be able to tell those stories, and once the story is told, then you can own it in any way.
Then you know how to tell your kids.
Yeah.
You know how to tell it to your kids. You know how to tell it to somebody else, and you say, well, this is how it goes. We learned storytelling. And I'll be teaching you storytelling.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. And it's almost Mother's Day, so what a great time to do that. What a great time to start thinking about that.
Yeah.
To start thinking of the idea of celebrating our mothers, and even starting to delve into those places where things feel like they're not meeting, and sort of taking a look at that and just taking some of the power away from that, and putting in the story so that then you can own it in whatever way you feel comfortable with.
Cool.
Yeah.
See you there.
Yay! Check on the Facebook link. Go to Centers for Spiritual Living Campbell River, and there's information there. Or look on Facebook. It's called Writing Women's History.
Yeah. Okay.
Bye.